Hello everyone and welcome to New York Comic Con and MCM Comic Con's Metaverse. I'm Annie and today I have the absolute pleasure of speaking to the cast, the creative minds and the executive producer of Stath Lets Flats. Now grab a drink, grab some snacks and let me introduce you to the amazingly talented people today. Who have I got? I've got Al, I've got Kiell, I've got Natasia, I've got Ash and I've got Jamie. How are you all doing?
I want Al to answer.
Oh yeah, very well, thanks.
Really good.
Sick.
I'm great.
I feel terrible.
Why do you feel terrible?
Because I wanted to say something that might be worthy of this interview, a bit interesting. But I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Perfect. We got off to a great start, guys. How have you all been doing?
Shall I give you a fun fact to start with? I'm filming another show at the moment, and the person on set who is the COVID officer who checks all the cast and crew for COVID has themselves tested positive for COVID.
No way.
Yeah, that's my day.
Let's get filming.
And how many people on set did that person come into contact? Everybody. For COVID.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Do you know if anyone else has it or is it just him?
I'm not going to check. It'll be fine.
You'll find out.
Well, he needs to go and test everyone. He needs to get back on it.
Who's going to test everyone? Anyway.
Well, him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of COVID and like lockdown, what have you guys been doing to keep busy, keep creative? Is there anything you've been watching or reading or playing recently that's awesome?
I've been watching All or Nothing, the Spurs documentary, which I've been texting Al about. It's really good and amazing to see that footballers they seem quite sad a lot of the time. So that's been a huge revelation for me and is kind of leveling out my own occasional feelings of down. So great.
I've been watching Stath Lets Flats, What We Do in the Shadows, Ghosts, Red Dwarf.
You've been checking out my back catalogue, have you? What are your takeaways?
What We Do in the Shadows and Stath Lets Flats has the edge on the others, but they're kind of cool.
I like the idea that you went to check out Arl's work, so you watched that.
I've been watching. I think it's an FX show called Dave, as well as every sports documentary I can find.
What We Do in the Shadows is also an FX show, Ash.
Yeah, I saw that on there, but no.
This is kind of about Stath Lets Flats, this chat.
Sorry.
It's a great show, What We Do in the Shadows. If we could leave that, there's probably a separate group for that.
We actually have another panel that Natasia's on about What We Do in the Shadows. So yeah, that'll be great. Back to Stath Lets Flats, yeah.
They'll be hearing all about Stath Lets Flats.
on that show.
I've been watching Kimmy Schmidt. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Beautiful show. She's such a silly girl.
You've been watching. I was wondering what Annie's been watching.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was just saying earlier that I smashed through Ghosts both seasons in one sitting last week and pretty much cried when I couldn't watch the next episode because there wasn't a next episode. Obviously, Stath Lets Flats.
Again, yeah, I was going to say let's keep it on the. Let's keep it.
Stath Lets Flats too.
Well, yeah, but I did want to say that, yeah, collectively as a group, all of you have an incredible hit list of projects that you've worked on, and this is a mouthful, okay? So whether writing, starring in, or producing, including The Office, Ghosts, Friday Night Dinner, Fleabag, What We Do in the Shadows, Flowers, Paddington 2, The IT Crowd, to name just a few. And of course, one of my favourites and the reason why that we're all here you know, being half Cypriot myself, it holds a special halloumi-sized place in my heart. It's an amazing cult comedy in the UK. How the hell did it start? And can you tell me in your own words what the show is about?
Should I do this?
Yes.
So I got given the opportunity to make some shorts, Channel 4, with Roughcut, Ash Atalla's company. I'd seen Ash accepting awards over the sort of past 10 years or so it seemed like a safe bet. And yeah, John Petrie, who was working there at the time, produced the shorts, and one of them, I had a sort of Greek voice, who's a kind of London Cypriot accent. We were trying to work out what would be a good fit for it, and became a letting agent. And yeah, I think the intention from the very beginning was, for myself anyway, was to try and harness the sort of intimidating, like a group of people, comedians around me that I'd met over the years at the Fringe and so on, and just work out a platform that could show off everyone's sort of comic voices and really be a kind of good demonstration of how amazing the kind of available character comedians there are. You know, that sentence didn't really quite work, but you get the picture. But yeah, I mean, I think this is like half an hour, so I think that's a pretty good summary. All right.
Ash, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I think it just combined for me something beautifully in the mainstream, as in that experience of looking for a new flat, house, that kind of lettings agent and estate agent thing that we've all gone through, but with something very specific, which was sort of the way that Jamie writes and the whole Cypriot and batshitness of it all, that the specificity of that world that hadn't sort of come to the television. And then taking me out of this Zoom, the kind of generation of performers and actors that Jamie was growing up with, you know, and so you could see a movement of people which has actually come to pass, which is, as they all now incredibly irritatingly are doing their own interviews and getting in other shows, and just they've all got their own thing going on, which I hate. What about Tasha?
Well, I didn't hear that. Was that saying at me?
Yeah, but I'm not hosting it. I don't know why I'm trying to run it.
I met Jamie Christmas, like around Christmas time, when he was kind of born, and I just thought, this guy's going somewhere, so just like showed him some of my stuff, showed him some of my poos, showed him myself, and then.
And I saw the poos, and I said, I think there's a relationship here with Al Roberts, if you've seen him.
So grateful to those poos.
Yeah, he showed me his poos, and yeah, you both do grey poos. So let's get you in the room and see if sparks fly. And
it's so scary thinking if those poos hadn't given you that idea, then I wouldn't be here. And,
I mean, it's because of those poos, clearly, that, you know, the reaction has been incredible. Like, hello, Bafta award winning. How was that? Exactly.
Three of them.
Exactly. Did you expect this reaction when you first started writing it?
No.
How do you feel now?
Well, the BAFTAs themselves haven't actually arrived, so I'm still sort of squinting at the TV, like waiting for the kind of "there's been a huge mistake" news report. But no, I feel very lucky to have won those BAFTAs and to have experienced it on the couch as no one's ever experienced before.
It was amazing. Me, Al, and Jamie were luckily got to be together, and I've never screamed so much, and I'm a screamer, and I screamed the most that night.
Kiell, Ash, you didn't see it go out live, I don't think. But Kiell, did you watch it go out live?
I was in a park and someone showed me some video.
They were screening it in the park.
I rented out Hyde Park because I knew we would win.
It is genuinely turned into a cult comedy in the UK, and like there's so many memorable scenes. And what I love is just do you know what, Jamie? I love it when your character is angry.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know why. I love it when your character is angry, and then that's when some of the Cypriot stuff comes in. I can't remember which scene it was, but you're venting to Sophie, and Sophie's like, "Do you want some olives?" And you're like, "Of course I do." And it's just like those tiny little like comedy moments that I think are what make it a cult classic. It's absolutely amazing. Like how much from your life and from, I guess, the Cypriot culture as well did you put into the script writing?
I mean, it's funny. It really depends who's on cam. I mean, obviously, when it's me, Tash, and Christoph who plays Vassos, it's all kind of Greek, and that, you know, my only access point to Greekness is, well, I suppose it's a combination of Greek people I met growing up through my family, but also it's kind of that blended with reality TV culture, kind of people trying to sound smart without doing the work first, kind of thing. Just sort of people trying to skip like learning how to be cool. And just cutting to being cool, and as a result saying like, well, I guess just saying things like tonight at the end of sentences to make themselves seem cool. Like, you guys want to have lunch tonight? But yeah, but you know, with the other characters, it's very much you know, I'm a big believer in writing to the performer kind of thing, and you know, knowing. But it's too, I found way more actually because I was, and they'd already brought so much to it in series 1. So that's that actually came to be the biggest inspiration for the whole thing. It's just like having hilarious people to write for and going like, how can I do justice to that? You know?
I think that's really something that Jamie did with this. So, you know, I think it's also a kind of a much more modern way around, which is you think, who are funny people that we'd love in the show, and how do we write to them, especially in that office situation, because there are so many sort of archetypal types that work in an office, some of which I've been involved with before. So what I love about this is, you know, you take a performer like Kiell, and in real life he's really angry, and so you know, Jamie was able to write, you know, the kind of the withering looks that he does, and that was written to a performer, and it's something that you sort of, once you've done series 1, you can work to more series 2. You know, it's I guess like having a football team. You know what everyone's strengths are. You write, you know, you put your speedy player on the flank because you know they can make the runs, and so I think that's what you get to do when you're writing specifically for people.
Put Al Roberts in goal every time.
Always in goal. Big hand.
Oh, I wanted to be the speedy player on the flank, but that's all right. I really had a vision of myself being that guy. I mean, it's crazy how specific some of the lines are. Like when you read it on the page, like if you don't know, you know, how it's going to be delivered, it looks crazy. Like that line actually, James, that you wrote for yourself, fresh out of ... B ... dice. Like imagine an actor like coming in to read that. It's so strange. It just makes sense when you say it.
Yeah, that's probably the most extreme example across both series. Out of B dice.
What was the B going to be? I've tried to think of what the next word.
Yeah, I think it's just like him on a row. What is that bit from? Fresh out. Oh yeah. If you don't like this from, you're fresh out of dice.
It's absolutely true with the way that you've written characters is absolutely amazing, and the way that each of you has developed your own characters. And I think one of the ways that we had seen them develop even more is the amazing lockdown special. Particularly Kiell's character, you know, obviously spending national lockdown with old Greek men and begging to be furloughed. Like, it was so nice to see what the characters have been up to. It was such a welcome, like, familiarity for all of us. Like, how did the lockdown special come about? Whose idea was that?
Mine.
You know what? I'm going to take it, and then and when did you come up with it?
So I was trying to think of formats that would work. Also, like cameras that you could do from your house, like any devices, laptop, iPads, mobile phones. And I thought that this show would be one of the good ones. I thought Friday Night Dinner wouldn't work because two of them live in the same house. So I picked this one, and everyone agreed to do it. And we started.
And how long have you been running Channel 4? Remind me.
Only 6 months, actually.
Yeah.
We gave him the job at the beginning of lockdown.
23rd of March.
Excellent rain.
Did you write the entire script for it as well?
Yeah, I think Channel 4 was Kiell's idea. He just didn't want to. He didn't want to run it until 6 months ago.
That was actually a great day for me because I felt like I was I'd been on a mad schedule and sleeping pattern from that throughout lockdown. That of like a uni student, and I felt like I could actually get up and do something and felt like I was going to work. So it was exactly what I needed. Shout out my bedroom window, and my mum to be like, "What? I mean, not you."
And do you know, from a TV perspective, I thought there would be more of that kind of stuff. There was a lot of user-generated content during lockdown from people that don't need to go via Kiell's Channel 4 or my Roughcut. People just putting their own stuff up there. But there was surprisingly little stuff of existing shows doing a special. I thought there was going to be more people trying to sort of keep the brand of their show alive or to do that. So, and Kiell is right. This show does suit it, but I thought there'd be more of it.
Yeah, it was Channel 4 did pitch it to us. Kiell's Channel 4 did pitch it to us.
Please.
There was, I was kind of like, but everyone's going to be doing like a lockdown content thing. It's like, does everyone want to know what every character they've ever seen on TV is up to in lockdown? But then, no, there wasn't really a huge amount of it. And then when it was I don't know, a couple of them I saw, I was just a bit like, it didn't feel, I don't know. It just felt difficult. It felt very difficult. I had no idea how people respond to our one, but it was actually, it turned out it's maybe one of my favorite episodes. I think it was just like everyone just came. I mean, it was basically one take from everyone, one or two takes maybe, and everyone just pulled it out.
I think in my head, I was like, I knew in my head I had a lot of confidence that it would work because I'm overconfident, but also because like for these people who can barely live like during life, they can barely live their lives. For them to try and master something like Zoom, obviously it was going to be so stupid and funny to be like, oh look, all our heads. It's all our heads.
Yeah.
It was such a welcome distraction and piece of like entertainment for those of us that are just everyone was stuck indoors at that time. So it was. I applaud you, and I was, as a fan, ask, can we have more, please?
More lockdown specials.
Yeah.
He's got to look at some budget stuff. It's been this year.
I do 8 out of 10 Cat Stars Sunday kind of.
But on that, I've got a question, Ash, for you. So you mentioned The Office earlier, as did I, and working on that again, so good. The format, the style of that, the fact that it's sort of quite observational comedy, and as you know, in the UK we love awkwardness, and it translated so well. The fact that the US brought out the US Office with Stath Lets Flats, because again, awkwardness tick, and like just observational comedy tick. Do you think it's something as well that could translate over in the US?
Yeah, I think Stath Lets Flats is very much its own thing, and I think some of those words that you applied to The Office and Stath Lets Flats could be applied to many comedy shows, but I accept they are both set in a corporate world. I do think Stath Lets Flats could travel. We are sort of having some early conversations about that. I think then the task at hand will be to make it feel American properly, and because Stath Lets Flats is so British, not only British, sort of has a strong Cypriot Greek flavor, as you say. So how do we take the specificity of what we're doing and make it feel like it would work directly for another company? But I've been to America and I've heard that they've got flats, and sometimes.
Although you need to name it, I think Greek boy rents apartments. That's
Greek boy
sort of American. That's like the American translation.
Hasn't already been done, that one? I think they got that.
No, it's Greek. It was Greek uncle rents apartments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely feels like something that could work in America. Yeah.
Good. That's what we like to hear. And keeping on that note of awkwardness, again, one of the things that we love. I don't know if we hate to love or love to hate awkwardness over here, but the relationship between Al and Sophie characters, I adore and genuinely could watch every day, all the time. Like, how did you develop?
Well, we knew each other. You know, we've known each other for like 10 years. I remember Tash went and saw our sort of terrible show that me and two friends were doing in Edinburgh, and she was one of the only people who liked it. And so for 10, and then we did some shows together, and we lived together for a year or so. So it's amazing to be able to go on set and have a sort of understanding. I think that made it so much easier. Just 10 years of stuff, understanding that the other person will find this funny or that funny is so important. If we'd met on set, as basically happens sometimes, it would have been worse, maybe. I got a bit nervous at the end there.
How did you develop that?
Say that again?
Oh no, just questioning. Yeah, how did you develop that relationship?
Me?
Why me?
What Al said, but also I think it obviously came from, like Jamie said, he's obviously known me and Al for a really, really long time as well. And Jamie was the person that told me to go and see Al's show that Al reckons no one liked, but everyone who did see it fell in love with it. It was Jamie that recommended that to me. And we were all in like a sort of friendship group doing lots of live comedy together, failing together. And I think, Jamie, it was like Jamie sort of observing mine and Al's friendship and relationship. And then, I mean, I'm speaking for you, Jay, but
no,
inspired that relationship. But I absolutely idolize Al. He's the funniest guy on the block. So it's not hard. It's not hard to act like I'm in love with him, because maybe I am. Big exclusive, NYCC.
But I think that's there was just like a joy about the two of them being together. I think they just unadulteratedly found each other funny. But similarly, like, with Kiell, it's like on set, one of Kiell's funniest things is it's very funny to see him find something funny or to see him find something stupid. It's like, there are some people whose just faces hit a mark when something stupid's happening, and you're almost going to get more enjoyment out of seeing him react to it than the stupid thing itself. And that sort of stuff is like, it's useful to just really keep your eye out for magic that's just sort of going on anyway, and then slip yourself in there, kind of thing.
I was going to say, what was life like on set? That you're all friends. I mean, you two are related. What was life like on set altogether? Did it feel like work?
I never find that the show feels like work.
No.
I often forget that I'm working. Especially when Tash is around. But our days usually consist of just sending each other pictures of each other. There's a picture of you that I took from across the room. But I was thinking, in your previous question, I was thinking that I kind of forced my way into this group because I saw a lot of the YouTube stuff that you guys were doing before, and I was like, I want in. and then just like prayed and made it happen, and also auditioned for the show. But, but like I was determined to get in and be a part, so that I could send Tash pictures of herself.
Yeah, it does. Of all the jobs I've done, it really doesn't feel like work. It just feels like warm laughs.
Yeah. It's a rare environment, but I feel like when you're on your way to do scenes and stuff, I feel really excited. It's like, you know, you see people's numbers on the call sheet, like their character names, like, oh my god, he's going to be in this one, kind of thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm about to get to see, you know, Al and Katie Wicks doing in a scene, or, you know, whoever's there. It's like it's sort of like I don't know. It's like one long episode of Comic Relief. Like, who the hell is going to pop up next, and what are they going to be wearing? And it's always horrible grow suit.
Honestly, it's amazing. And this is a question for Ash, and like everyone else can jump in as well. But like what we're saying with, you know, the Zoom calls and like the lockdown specials, and the fact that you know, we want more. I want more. How do you think like that particular episode or shows at the moment reflect television at the moment, or like particularly comedy? Do you think that's the future? The fact that we can watch it easily on our phones?
No, I don't think it is, actually. I think it was a brilliant moment in time. I actually think it really suited this. I'm particularly proud of it I can't take the credit myself, but I'm particularly proud of it on behalf of Jamie, because I think when you're doing a Zoom piece of comedy, there's nowhere to hide except behind the writing. And I think the writing in that lockdown special was just exquisite. And actually it is also one of my favorite episodes, because there's nothing else to look at except to listen to how excellent the craft of the writing is. In terms of that being the future of television comedy, I really hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. And I actually just think it's a moment that we had to sort of get through. I would happily do another episode of Stath in that way, because I think we've got that format. Those characters can speak to each other from home or about work on Zoom. So it absolutely works for that show, which is, I think, why it came together particularly well. So that you could easily make a coherent case for there being more of Stath in that format, but not for most shows.
Oh, agreed. And like the day that we see all of you in the same room, or like, you know, on set together, then the better life will be, I say. And with, you know, on that, looking at the future, are there any exciting projects that each of you are working on that you're allowed to tell us about?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, actually, not for me anyway. Please.
I'm currently, I was until today, before it got shut by COVID. Because the bloke testing for COVID got COVID. See, at the Irony Awards, I was making a show called Bloods for Sky, but I don't know now.
You have to stop filming that now. I'm so interested.
Well, we're waiting for the guy's test to come back. But one thing that he did on set this morning to test if he had COVID was he cut a lemon in half and he ate the whole lemon, and then he ate a whole sugar cube, and he said that he couldn't taste either of them, and that's how he knew he had COVID. I think we might have employed a clown.
Jeez.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
Natasha.
That's a great premise for something, isn't it? Clown COVID officer.
That's the
new drive-through testing. They give you a sugar cube and a lemon.
Yeah. The show would be called Sugar and Lemons.
What's he done that for?
Natasha, can you talk about anything you're working on?
I I mean, yeah, mine Ellie, who's in Stath Lets Flats, who plays Katya. We have our sketch show, but I don't know when we'll film it. But it will feature everyone in this call, including Ash and you, Annie. So well done, you get the parts.
Oh my god!
So yeah, hopefully that will include everyone. I don't know when it will be filmed. If that happened on Bloods, and mine and Ellie's show has a much smaller budget, so we might have like an octopus that can tell us who he thinks has COVID or not, like that octopus. But we're waiting to see about that. And then obviously what we do in the Shadows series 3, I think we're filming next year if all things go COVIDly well.
COVIDly.
Well said.
Really well.
Kiell, anything?
Channel 4.
We're working on some blaps.
Are you? You got blaps?
Everyone's got a blap. I'm giving everyone a blap. Ghost goes again in February. What's meant to in February. I'm working on my own stuff, writing. I'm also meant to be in that show that Ash is talking about.
Oh, you're in that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Just come down.
Yeah.
Al, how about you?
I've got some pretty small parts in stuff coming up that I'm not. I don't think I'm allowed to say what they are, which makes them sound more exciting. I mean, they are exciting. I'm excited about them, but it's just a job, innit? No, they're really excited, but I don't think that I can reveal what they are. I think they'd be really pissed off if I said, "Oh, I've sworn." I knew I was going to swear. If I said it, it's not my place to say.
Whatever is happening, all of us are really excited. And on that
thanks.
note, I'm really sad that we have to leave this here. But just before we go, do you have any final wise words? They have to be wise words to fans just before we go.
About
Starting
me.
with Al.
Oh,
Any
I'm still recovering from my last answer. Wise words. Do what you must do and do it well.
Kiell.
Sausages in the grill over fried. Always.
Jamie.
Look out for some great projects from Al Robert coming out soon.
Ash.
In the words of Bob Geldof, send us your fucking money now.
Natasha, round up.
Oh God. Delete social media and send me money.
And Annie, just for you, I'm thinking a sort of 3-word description about each of us.
I think we can up that 5.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for now, people. We've gone over slightly, so amazing, awesome, and charming for all of you.
Thank you.
Take it.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for today. Thank you, honestly, and I hope you all stay safe. And thank you, fans, and everyone for watching as well. And we'll see you very, very, very soon.
Thanks, Annie.
Bye.
Thank you.